Hello, my name's Bryn Williams, and I was General Secretary of the British Karate Control Commission about 40 years ago, and I've been involved with karate roughly for 50 years, and I'm very pleased to be here this evening to see a demonstration of karate 50 years on. I think my most powerful recollection of our success, in the British success that is, in karate over the years was when the British team won the 1975, long time ago, World Championships, but also won the European Championships in Tehran at the time, and additionally came second to France in the European Junior Championships. So that was almost a clean sweep of everything. The number of major organisations that we had in the late 1960s and 70s were eight substantial organisations with substantial numbers. But now it's fragmented a lot more, and there are almost literally, as I understand it, almost hundreds of organisations which are more effectively like large clubs than organisations, with the consequence that it's very difficult to produce an overall British team as we did in those early years. I'm extremely pleased that Terry invited me to this weekend to view this 50th anniversary of karate in the UK, because well, in the first place, I've met a lot of old friends, including Brian Hammond here, and many others, and it's nice to meet those people and to recall the successes we've had in the past, and hopefully to wish that we get similar types of successes in the future.
Now, Sensei, one of the great things about this festival this weekend is the legendary figures, and we don't get more legendary than Iguana Sensei here.
No. I've trained with Sensei for many years now, for about 35 years. I try to get to his dojo in Okinawa at least twice a year and train with him on a personal level. He is actually an inspiration to all of us.
And one of those figures that transcends styles, doesn't he? His name is known throughout Karate-Do, full stop.
It's synonymous with Goju, or with Okinawa Goju.
And as we can see, he's a very short man, but he's known, isn't he, for his power.
Yes. The Okinawans, generally Sensei has like a typical Okinawan build. They're very short, squat, so like this type of style suits them, like a close-in fighting.
And the incredible thing is, apart from us here on the commentary table, you can hear a pin drop.
Yes. The level he's practicing, it actually introduces Go and Ju techniques in the kata.
There's a subtle movement of the hip there as well,
Yeah.
Sensei.
That's the tightening of the tendon. So Sensei's tensing the point of power. This is what we do when we do Sanshin. So at that moment of impact, just here now, he tenses his tendon. Then he'll strike.
Does that also help with the defence as well, the tension there?
Yes, because also it gives you, for example, if it's like an Uechi where you strike at the same time as your opponent, as long as your body is tight, you've also got an armour on.
And again, when you mention that body form, it's wonderful when he goes into these low stances.
He's got the perfect shape. He's been practicing karate for about 57 years now. If you also look at the developments on Sensei's hands, he practices conditioning every single day.
Yes, they're almost, in many ways, too big for his stature, aren't they?
That's right, yeah.
They're like big hands.
if he catches hold of your arm, you can almost feel, you think he can take the flesh off your arm.
We saw that in your earlier demonstration, the gripping training as well.
That's
great.
right.
And you can hear the applause there for Higuaín Sensei. Thank you, Sensei, for commentating with me. It was a pleasure to watch Higuaín Sensei here at this 50th anniversary.
Thank you very much. You're welcome.
So next up, Uechi with the Goju Sensei, and my pleasure to have Terry Donner here with me. And Terry, it's great here today, some of the masters for this 50th anniversary.
I think we're very lucky to have someone of Sensei Gushi's standard with us today. Nakoto is one of Sensei Gushi's students. He's been training for about 20 years, I think.
And is this to show us the strength in that upper body when he tenses now?
What you're seeing here is Sanchin kata, which is common to most of the styles we'll see today. This is the Uechi version. It's one of the 3 original kata, and this kata specifically tries to develop strength in the body and resilience to fairly punishing blows, as we're about to see.
I was just about to say
Yeah.
that it looks like we are going to see these punishing blows. And with this conditioning, how many times would that be done during a week to get to the level that we're going to see here?
Sanchin conditioning is done at every training session, so if you train every day, you do Sanchin every day. Maybe it's at different levels, it may not always be quite so intense, particularly for a beginner, obviously. You wouldn't see this breaking, this is just for demonstration purposes, but the body is tested every time you train. Gradually, the participant, the student, develops, as you can see, a fairly high level of resistance to what would be fairly devastating on anyone else.
And this is on the understanding that at times when you're both at a very similar level, as you strike, you might get struck back.
I think there's an acceptance that no matter how good you are, something's going to get through. Bearing in mind, of course, this is not a sport, karate.
Would it be fair to say that Uechi is not one of the most known of the karates in this country?
I think it's although it's been in this country for about 30, 40 years, it's only very small, it's never grown large. However, in America, where it's been in existence since the 1950s, there are probably about 2,000 clubs.
Well, he's decided to show us a different way of breaking this, and has brought gasps from the audience there, Terry.
Well, that was a bad piece of wood. There was a knot in the wood.
You could hear that.
Yeah.
And you can hear the response to that as well, and you can see the marking on his shoulder, but superbly conditioned young man, Nakoto. So here we go. It's been set up. You can hear a pin drop as the audience wait. And again, just to emphasise our point, Terry, about the wood.
I think it's always difficult on these very soft floor mats as well, because you watch the bottom piece of wood bounce.
Yes.
Ah, yes, look at the knots.
I can't imagine it doing it a third time, my forearm after the first two.
I think it says something about the level of conditioning to have a go twice and then a third go and it hasn't broken.
I was thinking that because I was wondering about my own forearms after that first two, because there was just no give in that wood whatsoever. And here he goes again.
It's bouncing out of the notch on the floor.
And you can see how upset he is, but I think we're with a very knowledgeable audience here, Terry, so they know.
This is the shin.
The most unprotected bone in your body, the shin.
Think how it feels if you bang your shin on the bed.
Well, I'm pleased for him after that with the forearm, but my goodness, look at that wood. And as we said, Terry, the most unprotected bone. You know when you just knock your shin off. Or those that used to play football as well as do their karate, when they got a kick and you see the footballers rolling around on the floor.
Absolutely.
And he's just gone through that wood. And you can still see the frustration on his face. He really wanted to do that other piece of wood as well.
There was no way that last piece of wood was going to stay intact.